Here at the Mind People, we do something that is very different. Majority of clinics predominantly focus on cognitive behavioral techniques. So what does that mean? Usually these therapists tend to focus on more of the cognitions, right? So the thoughts that influence one's emotions and behavior. So the idea is if one can help to restructure these thoughts so they're more positive, then that can have a positive influence on emotions and a positive influence on behavior. So that's the theory. However, I work from a completely different perspective. So the idea is that someone, this is yourself, has experienced a trauma or a psychic trauma, right? A psychic wound, or maybe you've gotten into a car accident and experienced a life-threatening event. Either way, this has left a psychic scar or scars on your mind. And what does that do? Because of these psychic scars, it has fundamentally changed your personality, meaning that your core personality has changed, and that's what influences your thoughts, your feelings, and your behavior. So therapy with a psychoanalyst or psychoanalytic psychotherapist, it's about diving into the unconscious, and we are breaking through defense mechanisms. We are pushing through avoidance and resistances to get to the core trauma or traumas and bring them to the surface. The problem is, once the trauma is brought to the surface, the individual now has to decipher the language of the unconscious, because the unconscious mind isn't direct. Think about the last time that you had a dream. Did your unconscious mind say, hey, you know what, you're really worried about your taxes this year because you haven't filed them, so you really need to get on that? No. Instead, you might have a dream with a bunch of dancing numbers. So it's not direct, so we need to decipher the language of the unconscious. This is what Jacques Lacan talks about. He talks about symbols and images and how we need to analyze them. And that's why it's so important. So at the Mind People, not only do we focus on how to do this in the unconscious mind, so this way you're able to process that pain. Once you decipher the language of the unconscious, you're able to process that pain, and instead of being so reactive and symptomatic, you're able to be more responsive. So then this way your symptoms don't have to run the show. So in order to do this, it requires specialized treatment. It requires specialized support, either a psychoanalytic psychotherapist or a psychoanalyst. By you understanding the components of your mind, by going through this process and breaking through all of these resistances, as well as persevering through the threats to treatment, such as if insurance stops, or what happens if you lose your job, things like that. There are so many things that can get in the way that we know about or don't know about that can threaten the process of treatment. So what do we need to do? We need to understand these components so this way we are prepared for it. So we set you up for success. This is why we talk about coming into session on a weekly basis, because we can't do this whole process on a bi-weekly or even monthly approach. We have to meet at least weekly, if not more times a week. If you have a very severe case and you're very reactive, you're very overwhelmed, then we need to do more to support you. So if you're interested in finally diving deeper, if you don't want to have the surface level treatment, you want more, then reach out to the Mind People. Click the link below to schedule a complimentary consultation with our consultation care coordinators. They will help to personalize your process and connect you with a therapist who best fits your needs. If you're not looking for therapy, maybe you're looking for a self-help resource, or maybe you're looking for a workshop or another resource or an event. Either way, we got you covered. So connect with us today so we can show you how we can help you.